Alright everybody, welcome back to the Scales Homestead. Today we're going to talk about how we built our raised beds, just to kind of give you all a rundown of how we built them in case you would like to try to build some yourself, whether it be for this coming up fall garden or for springtime next year, or if you want to build one now and planting it. We still planting right now, so I mean you can plant late in the year. So this bed, I'm using this bed because it's in the shade and it's really windy, so I'm trying to stay out of the wind as much as possible. This bed from that end to this end is 14 foot, and then it is 4 foot wide. Of course you can build them however you want. You can build them 2 foot wide, 12 foot long, you know, whatever. It's a very basic, very easy build, and very cheap. Well, if you use like reclaimed wood or rough sawn wood, is very cheap. I wouldn't go to Lowe's and buy a bunch of 2x6s to build this with. So anyway, our construction is 2x6, 2 inches thick, 6 inches wide. So about every 4 foot ish down this side right here, we didn't really measure for the supports. We used 26-inch wide tin, meaning from top side here to the very bottom down there is 26 inches on the tin. So we built the frames 26 and like a half, or 26 and 3/4, something like that, from this top to the very bottom. So we cut these like 23.5 inches to account for the 3 inches of the top plate and the bottom plate. That way we had a little bit of room, like you see right here how the tin don't go all the way to the top. That's why we cut the supports a little bit longer. That way we didn't have to deal with that tin sticking up past the edge, and while we're working in here and whatnot, cutting ourselves or anything like that. So once we built this 4 foot frame and this 14 foot frame, we had them laying flat on the ground. I don't have any footage of us actually building them. It was so late already, we was trying to just hurry up and blow through these things and get them built and get them filled and get stuff planted, because we was late. So we was trying to just get it done as fast as possible. I didn't film none of it, I'm sorry. The best I can do is give you all a walk around explanation of how we built it. So anyway, once we done that, we came in and recessed these boards the thickness of a 2x6, recessed the ends inside, and then we just come in from this inside right here and secured it to this board from the inside on all 4 corners, which give us our frame. Well, let me back up a little bit. When the frames were still on the ground, that's when we nailed the tin on. And you can see we just used some I forget what they called. It's like a shingle nail, you know, like a single shingle nail, 1.25 inches long with a big flat head on the top of it. That way it would hold that tin really good. And of course we put the tin on the inside. That way once we filled it with dirt, the dirt would actually push the tin against the frame, instead of if we put the tin on the outside. Well, this would have been, the bottom plate would have been, and the supports would have been covered in dirt, and it would have been trying to push the tin away from the frame. So we put it on the inside so that it helps give it some stability. And you see this is the other side. Now we just used some old tin off the barn from the back that we tore down, just to, I mean, we was trying to do it as cheap as possible. So this was some 2x6s that I got for doing a job for another guy. He had a bunch of 2x6s, so I brought them home. So that's what we used for this. And the tin just come from the barn. Not just from the barn. We got tin from all kind of different projects that we've done around here, or things we've torn down or whatever. So we come in from the top. You can see right here. Yeah, we just screwed the support top and bottom, and then put the tin on the inside of the frame. And then we went to the ends, you know, and then recessed that in, secured it in real good, and then took the tractor and filled them up with a bunch of dirt. I do have footage from another video that I put out of putting the dirt in there. I'll recover some of that video and put it in here and kind of show you how we filled it. Now, of course, that's the way we filled it because we had the use of a tractor. You can use a wheelbarrow, especially if you build them a lot smaller. You don't have to build them this tall. We built them this tall because we want to use them for years and years and years to come. So in that video footage, you'll see that we put a bunch of sticks in the bottom, some old limbs, cut off pieces of this wood, you know, things like that. We put in the bottom, that way it'll break down through the years. And on cold nights, that also helps keeping the bed warm, because of course this stuff breaks down, it degrades, it puts off heat, so it keeps these beds really, really warm all the time, no matter what. Now, as you can see, spread out across here, we have a bunch. We have 5 built this way, and then we got a center block one and one just built out 2x6s. We're just trying to do this video to kind of show y'all how we put this together, how easy it really was. I wished I'd have recorded some of it whenever I was actually building it, but like I said, we was so behind on planting that we was really just, well, it wasn't we, I was really focused on getting them built and getting them filled, because I felt like I was in a time crunch to try to get everything done. So anyway, like I said, this bed is 4 foot wide, 14 foot long. We got, that bed is 4 foot, they're all 4 foot wide, but that bed's 16 foot long, and then these 3 beds are 12 foot long. We literally just, we had 12 foot boards, so we built 12 foot beds, you know. Same principle, as you can see, all of them are constructed exactly the same, with outside frame. This frame is recessed inside to give us to where it's secured across this way. And I mean, that one's 12 foot, that one's 16 foot, 12 foot, 12 foot, and a 14 foot. So we so really, like I said, if you know somebody that owns a mill, some kind of sawmill where you can get, you know, instead of paying $20 a piece for a 16 foot 2x6, you can pay, you know, $9 or whatever. That helps out drastically on the cost of building one of these. Or if you know somebody might be tearing a house down or something like that, you don't have to use 2x6. I use 2x6s because that's what I had on hand, and I didn't have to put as many supports like through the middle, these supports right here, because of it being 2x6s. Now, had I built these frames out of 2x4s, I probably would have put 4 supports in between there, just to give it a lot more stability, a lot more structure, to keep it from bowing out when I dump that dirt in there. And that still may not have worked, but that's the way I would have done it if it had been built out of 2x4s. But like I said, we had 2x6s on hand, so we just went with it. You know, we needed beds. We didn't want to deal with a big garden this year and plowing all that up and to weed all that, or black paper it, or whatever. So this is the way we went, and this is probably the way we'll just continue going, is with these. I plan on this fall building, you know, 4 or 5 more, probably get up to about 12. We got 7 right now, so we'll probably get up to 10 or 12, something like that. And that's pretty much what we're going to be planting in from now on, is these, because it's a really easy build. Now, if you fill these things with dirt you buy at Lowe's or Home Depot or Tractor Supply or whatever, you know, if you fill these things with like gardening soil, dude, it's going to cost you some money to fill them up. Now, if you only went half as wide, it wouldn't be as bad, but still, when you're paying $5, $6, $7 a bag, I mean, this right here would have took, you know, 100 bags to fill up. So there was no way I was spend $500 a bed. We had the luxury of, I know it's windy, I'm trying to stay out of that wind as much as possible. We had the luxury of having a big compost pile that had been breaking down over the last several years, that I filled every one of these beds up with, all 7 of them. and I still have enough up there, and there's still more to be broke down that we moved, pushed around. So we'll be able to fill them up. You know, that's pretty much free cost to us, because it didn't cost us nothing to just leave that there composting. But either way, we really appreciate all the support on this channel, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. We do appreciate the support. We can't thank y'all enough for sharing these videos and sharing this channel, sharing this page. You know, I mean, it just liking our videos, comment on our videos. You know, we can't say thank you enough. We're really trying to get better about filming a lot more stuff we do around here, like these beds. I really hope to help people, you know, better themselves. Not better themselves, but better what they're doing. You know, if you live in a small area where you don't have a lot of room, you can't use a tiller or a tractor or something like that, this is a good option. You know, I mean, even if you built it a foot wide and just planted one row of vegetables in there or whatever, that's something that you could do. It makes it very easy for people with smaller areas. I mean, this little piece of our yard right here is 1/4 of an acre maybe, and we have 7 beds on it and room to put plenty more. We're gonna end up with about 12 beds on a 1/4 of an acre. So I mean, really, that just goes to show you that these things can help you maximize the area that you're planting in. Because I mean, to plant this in a field type garden, I think, let's see, we got 5 beds, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 beds full of tomatoes, and there's 32, 48, and there's 70 something tomato plants in here on this little spot. So in order to do that, we'd have needed 2 rows, you know, 70 feet long, just to plant these tomatoes in. Then Ashley did companion planting, so that there's lettuce and peppers and all kind of other stuff growing in there. We got beans in this one. So it just goes to show you that you can actually grow a lot more stuff in a small area. So we hope this helps y'all out, you know, with maximizing the area that you can grow in. Even if it's a small area, you can make a big use out of a small area. So anyway, we hope y'all enjoy this video. We hope y'all learned something from it. We appreciate y'all support, and we will see y'all on the next one.